say when. Okay. Let's see. C4.
Miss.
Oh, rats. Your turn.
Oh, B5.
Miss. J10.
Miss.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mike Warner. I'm the large group teacher for 4th and 5th grade at Hope Lutheran Church. We're located in Greece, New York. This is the third week of talking about King David, and we're in the third of the 5 weeks of our theme, which is brave, being brave. This week, brave kind of goes along with mercy, being merciful, which is, we'll tie it in a minute. You guys must recognize this. A lot of you kids have probably played this game. It's Battleship. I love Battleship. I played it with my kids when they were little. Battleship is all about trying to find out where the enemy ships are and trying to sink them, trying to get them before they get you. And that's pretty much the story today. Let's go back a ways. God made Saul king of the Israelites. He said, you don't need a king. They said, yes, we do. He said, no, you don't. They said, yes, we do. He gave him a king, gave him King Saul. Saul, I can't put this any kinder than this. Saul, after a while, started going crazy. And I mean crazy. One day when he was in the castle, he took a spear and he launched it right at David, and David just ducked out of the way at the last second before he got killed. He would chase David around the castle, he would chase David around the countryside, and finally David and a bunch of his buddies, they fled Jerusalem. So they're out there somewhere in Israel on the run. Well, Saul chased him, but periodically he had to come back because there's other countries trying to attack Israel, so Saul would go off and he'd fight a few battles and he would come back to Jerusalem and that. One day while he was back in Jerusalem, one of his courtiers came up and told him, you know, we got a lead on David. He's by these caves over in the eastern part of Israel. That's where you're going to find him. So Saul gets about 2,000-3,000 of his men, his soldiers, and he go out looking for him. And they're all throughout the countryside there, and they're searching all these houses and all these valleys and all these mountains. They come up upon a bunch of caves. And Saul's exploring these caves with his soldiers and that, and he wanders into one of the caves. That's the cave where David and his men were hiding out. David sees Saul come in the cave. Now keep in mind, Saul had been trying to kill him. So David's men tell him, now's your chance. Kill him. Kill him. Kill him now. Let's be done with this. He won't chase you anymore. And David's sitting there going, I don't know. Kill him. And David goes, I don't know. He's God's anointed. He's a king. You really shouldn't do that. He's saying, no, you'll never have another chance again. Kill him. Well, while Saul is in the cave, David sneaks up behind him, maybe behind a rock. David takes out his knife. And he reaches up and he takes a hold of the hem of Saul's coat. And he slices off a chunk of the hem. Saul then leaves the cave. He gets outside the cave, he starts walking away, going back to his soldiers. And David walks out of the cave and says, hey, King Saul. Saul turns around and he goes, David! I didn't know you were there. Before he can say anything else, David goes like this. See this? I was so close to you, I cut it off your robe. Now, I could have killed you. I had the chance and I could have done it. But I didn't do it because it's wrong. I've never been a bad guy to you. I've always loved you like a father. Forgive me and I'll forgive you. Saul said, yeah, that's a good idea. I like that idea. David could have killed him, but David did the brave thing. David showed Saul mercy. God teaches us how to be merciful. Well, Mr. Warner, that's a big word there. What do you mean being merciful? Being merciful means being kind to your brother, your sister, your friends, your neighbor. You know, if you've got something I could get them back at something like that. No, don't do that. Be nice, show them mercy. Mom and Dad, Grandma and Grandpa.
Hey.
This is all in 1 Samuel chapter 24. I would suggest you sit down with your little ones and read through the chapter. It's a good story. It's got a lot of meaning to it. It's a great adventure. And this tells you how David found mercy and how David was seen in the eyes of God as showing mercy toward God's anointed, King Saul, when he didn't have to, but he made the right decision. This is the last week of David. Next week, Miss Tina and Miss Abby will start in on one of my favorite stories in the Bible, the heroic Queen Esther.
Yay.
Yay! And that's all.